Hello out there in the social media world. I'm Martin Houston, and I am the founder and CEO of Empowerment Strategies and Solutions. And on today, we also have Mr. Gene Lewis, fractional CMO. How you doing, Gene?
I'm doing good, Martin. How's your day going?
It's going well. So, for those of you who are tuning in, this is the first episode of CultureCast, empowered people, empowered brands, and it's all in the name. It's about the two of us empowering the people within an organization to become stronger teams and a championship culture. And of course, that can't happen if there's not brand alignment. And so, Gene and I, we're just gonna, hey, this is just gonna be a conversation. We're going to invite you in on the conversation. If you're out there on the live stream, you can simply just add your thoughts and comments in the chat. We'll respond to your questions as we go. The goal of it is simply, as you can see the tagline there, the convergence of strategic storytelling and empowerment, where marketing, leadership, and culture converge to transform an organization from the inside out. Gene, go ahead and greet the people and tell them a little bit about yourself.
Thank you, Martin. My name is Gene Lewis. The name of my company is actually Empower Strategies, not to be
Yeah.
confused. I'm a
Yeah.
fractional CMO.
It's kind of funny. People think sometimes I think because we're together a lot, they think it's the same company. But clarify one more time yours, and then I'll clarify mine when I go again.
Mine is Empower, starts with E, Empower Strategies.
Yeah. So, and then mine is empowerment, starts with an M, empowerment strategies and solutions. So, we'll get that out there and let you know, so you'll be able to easily identify them.
Yeah, and I am a fractional CMO, and primarily what I do is help organizations tell their story, build their story, and then invite their prospects into a story, and then go tell that story. And that's kind of a full scope go to marketing plan that will increase demand and drive their revenue. But you have to be able to really understand your story, which is value. You invite your prospect into a story, which is about transformation. And then you go tell the story, which is about connection. And that's how you build a business, and that's how you build a brand. And that's what I help organizations do.
Yep. And at Empowerment Strategies and Solutions, we kind of have a threefold mission, is to empower uh, empower better people, empower stronger teams, and empower championship cultures. And the two of us believe that these two kind of go hand in hand when you look at a company. If a company doesn't have a clear story, a clear brand, then culture ultimately is lacking. And of course, if you don't have a good culture, it's kind of hard to build your people and lead your people and build your teams to execute on your strategy and your mission. So let's take the first topic just right off the bat. Just as I said, this is an intro, and we're just going to hit on a couple of key things today, and then we'll continue to let you know where you can find out more information about both of us, or if you'd like to work with us. First thing up, Gene, is why does culture matter today more than ever in an organization?
Well, I'll tell you why it matters tremendously. Everything I just talked about, building your story, inviting your prospect in a story, going and telling that story, you can have the best marketing plan, go to marketing plan put together, and it will absolutely be torpedoed and sink with bad culture. If you don't have the right culture in your organization, you can't go execute all the work you've put together to go have a winning marketing plan. And I've seen that. I've lived that inside organizations. You have to understand your mission, your values, understand and prioritize your people, or all that marketing work is going to fall flat.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a lot of times, you hear, we're here in Tuscaloosa, of course, and you hear about the script A and what that means. Well, the story, when you look at when Nick Saban came here, Alabama had got to a point where there wasn't brand alignment and mission alignment, and did not have the right people or the right teams in place. And of course, Nick Saban was able to come in, and as he built that new brand, I never forget his first meeting. He kind of first press conference. He kind of set the stage for the brand that would become the most dominant era. He said, "We want to build a program." He didn't say team, and that's key. He said a program that people were fear playing, and he listed out several other aspects of that. Is that kind of what you're referencing as well? That type of
Absolutely. It starts with the top, starts with the man in charge, a woman in charge. They set that pace. And again, if that culture doesn't get, put down to the organization, you can do strategy and messaging and all that, and it just won't be effective. Culture of the organization is just critical in order to go be successful in the marketplace. And you've been on teams, Martin, that they may not have a good culture and they'll do okay for a while, but it'll catch up with you eventually.
Absolutely. We can go ahead and skip kind of to that conversation around if there's the reality of it is your culture or your performance kind of builds around whatever is the worst of your organization. You may be able at times, Gene, to hide it as you said, but the reality of it is given enough time, the worst of your culture will bring down the rest of your organization unless you're willing to make changes there. So it's definitely something that you need to look at when you're building your culture. If you're not willing to root out the worst of your culture, eventually it'll rear its ugly head. Now we both chose the name empowerment. I'll let you kind of share your story, and then I'll tell mine behind why that name.
Yeah, great question. Love that. That process I went through, building your story, which is going to be, mission, values, those type of things that culture impact, what you want to accomplish, why you're in business, what problem you're solving, what other options do prospects have to solve that problem, and why should they choose you? So we put all that together in building your story. And then we go invite our prospects into a story that shows them how we can solve their problem and get what they want to transform them. Then we go tell the story, which is our marketing plan and roadmap. I can work with an organization, put all that together for them, and empower them to now go and be successful. So moving them from a state of kind of random acts of marketing, some kind of chaos, not really knowing what to do, trying this, moving here. Now they've got an intentionally laid out plan based on that strategic storytelling that they're now empowered to go execute. They can continue to work with me if they want, but sometimes, they have all the resources they need. They just weren't aligned properly. So once we get that aligned properly, now they're empowered to go grow their organization, increase their demand, and increase their revenue.
And for me, I'll kind of take the other side of why I chose that is, I believe that there's a 5-step journey to empowerment or the ability to take action or participate in action. And the first step is engagement. You have to meet people wherever they're at, and both our organizations do that. Then you have to actually sometimes some need more than others. You have to encourage them. And encouragement is one of those things that's either needed at the beginning when people aren't engaged, or it's needed partway through when people start to fade a little bit, or it's at the end when they're getting almost about ready to quit because they can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Encouragement is just that thing that it permeates throughout, but I think it happens early, in the middle, and at the end throughout the process. Then number 3 is education. And education is giving the knowledge, the information that is needed. And as you just said, you come in and you teach them how to tell their story. You educate them on how to tell their story. Mm-hmm. And in my turn, in terms of what I do, I'm a leadership coach, training speaker, behavioral assessment. So I'm giving you knowledge and information about how to move from A to B, or how to have better conversations, or how to have difficult conversations, how to manage emotion through emotional intelligence, how to communicate better, etc. And then the fourth step is equipping, and that is the tools. And both of our organizations have tools that we either share and or give and or leave behind, a playbook to say that you're now able to act on. Once you get through those four things, that's where most people stop. That's where most people quit. But it's about the opportunity, and that's where empowerment happens. And so when you look at what I do from a training, speaking, coaching, behavioral assessment standpoint, it's about helping individuals, teams, and organizations be able to take the next action. I have my own created word, Gene. It's called impact, but it's spelled EMPACT, and it's
Great.
just short for empowering action. And that's what empowerment is for me. And that's exactly what you described.
Yep.
You know, I kind of gave a lattice to the 5 elements of what you were talking about. But both of those words, both of our missions as a company is to help those clients not just get information,
Right.
not just get knowledge, but they actually take an action that leads to greater success individually and collectively. So,
Yep.
any other thoughts
Yes.
on that?
No, that's just very well said. We want to take you from kind of where you are today to an improved state.
Yeah.
Internally, better culture, better relationships, externally, brand growth. You get those two working together, you got a winning organization.
Yeah, and when you look at the storytelling is the word that we've said a lot is marketing in terms of what you do, but there's you talk about storytelling a lot when you were working with me as one of your clients.
Yeah.
You're talking about the storytelling. Kind of talk about why that's different than just traditional marketing and what makes it more powerful.
Great question. Martin, if somebody comes up to you and they say, once upon a time, are you suddenly kind of, ooh, I'm paying attention. They're about to tell me a story.
Right.
That's what we do when we start doing strategic storytelling. We first of all, we go into the organization and we understand their story. Organizations have a story to tell. We want to build that story in a manner that's relevant to their target. And then when we go to invite the prospects into a story, we want to lead our messaging and communication with being about the prospect. Martin, if you're talking with someone at a networking event, they come up to you, they ask what you do, you answer real quick, and then they go into a 15-minute dissertation on what they do. How quickly are you trying to get out of that conversation?
Yeah, exactly.
Talk about your prospect, what they want, what their problems are. When you have understanding of that, then you have permission to start telling them how you can be the guide to help them get what they want. That's what storytelling is. Storytelling is we make the prospect a hero and we invite them into that story. You can go to countless websites and look at the header section, and it's, we've been in business 25 years. We offer these services. We do these things. No one cares. They care when they think that you know what their problem is and you can help them get what they want. So that's what we do with strategic storytelling. And then when we go to tell the story, we want to show up where they show up. So that's where we're kind of mapping the customer journey. Where is that prospect? Are they on LinkedIn? Are they on social media? Are they driving to work and drive time radio? We go through an entire customer journey, taking them from awareness into loyal customer, and we're meeting them by telling that story. We're making that connection with them so that they pay attention to us and do business.
Absolutely, and I can tell you, I've been doing live reads or on another show, and he asked me, "Tell me what you do," and my natural tendency is to go through. And I've got that down. I can tell that's my elevator pitch, but not the storytelling, which is a little different. It can be the same, but yet different. And I can quickly tell them, hey, empowerment strategies and solutions. We're empowering better people, empowering stronger teams, empowering championship cultures. We speak, we coach, we train. Boom. Well, they know everything I do, but that's not going to necessarily resonate with them. So now what I do is I catch myself and go, hey, if you are an emerging leader, if you know that's looking to grow, one of the things that that I recently incorporated into the story is if you are dealing with, or you will be dealing with, the leadership gap in your company, who's going to help you get through that? Well, hey, listen, we can help you get through that through our boot camps, half day, full day, whatever. And we can help you get through that by using our behavioral assessments. We can help you find leaders in your existing organization. So it really does help you communicate. It's in sales. I was just talking to someone at lunch, and I told them, they're talking about how difficult sales is. I said it is because the first thing we think about sales is we think about the car salesman. If you're a car salesman, listen to it. We're not being offensive, but hey, listen, I'm a pastor, and people, put us in a certain category. So welcome to my world. But I told him, I said, if you're selling, but you are convinced that the first thing you need to do is find out if they have a need, and then you match your product to their need. And if there's no match, then you just move on to your next, opportunity, and let them know, hey, if you ever need these services, and then you identify a few of those things. So, and that's what we try to do, with our company in terms of what we offer. We're like I said, this is an intro episode. So, Gene, I'll give you the closing thoughts if you have something you want to add or say or share with them, and then tell them where they can find you and how you.
Sure thing. Well, just a couple of things to what you said. When you're looking at leadership and how you work with leaders, they need to understand the story of the people in the organization. Yeah. They're not tools and resources, they're people, and understanding their story and being sensitive to that. And then the other thing, what you just said, if you're not a good fit with somebody, but somebody that is, push them that way. Yeah. Now, what's going to happen? They're going to remember that, and the next time that they need your service, man, this guy helped me and he got nothing out of it, so I'm going to go deal with him. It's all about servant, being a servant. Right. Great leaders are servants. Good marketing, good branding is about being a servant, and that's what we kind of help branding and positioning to do. You can find me on LinkedIn, Gene Lewis, or you can find me at empowerstrat, EMPOWER, strat.com. I have a really fun messaging workshop, very interactive. That's the way I love to kind of engage with organizations. You can book a messaging workshop, and we can start kind of breaking down your current messaging and looking at how we can kind of help you improve that. But I'd love to connect with anybody that's listening to this on LinkedIn and just get to know each other a little bit.
Yeah, and listen, if you're dealing with some issues from a standpoint of emerging leaders, frontline leaders, communication issues, maybe some conflict resolution, or you just want to grow and go to the next level, always be growing, then that's what we can do to help you at Empowerment Strategies and Solutions. You can find it under my name, martinhouston.org is the website. You can also find me on LinkedIn under Martin Houston. And listen, Empowerment Strategies and Solutions, either one of those will get you to me. Would love the opportunity to see if you and I could potentially work together. So if you go to martinhouston.org, you can click the book me link, and then ask for a discovery meeting or an impact meeting. And all that is a session where we sit down and talk about what your needs are. And like I said, if there's a fit, we'll make it happen. If not, I want to know if there's anybody that I need to know, and I'll do the same for you. And you listen to CultureCast. CultureCast, Empowered People, Empowered Brands, edition number 1. Hang with us. We promise to get better. And what I can promise you this is we'll use the convergence of strategic storytelling and empowerment, where marketing, leadership, culture converge to transform your organization from the inside out. We'll get better, and hopefully by us getting better, it'll help you get better. Thank you, and have a great day. And we'll